lead with their passion and with their heart, and how to find fulfilling work that is uplifting to their spirit and their soul. What I didn't know about Erin is that she was painfully shy, and that she has been on her own journey to build her own confidence. So I love finding out those unexpected things, that when you meet Erin, when you spend time with her, she just is such positive energy, and yet there's still that shyness that she works at it to overcome that. So no better person to teach us about confidence than somebody who has walked the walk and talked the talk. Erin is a speaker, an author. She has her, I want to say, bachelor's degree in psychology and a certified professional coach. So lots of books to her name, lots of retreats under her belt, and lots of wisdom that she has to pour forth into our hearts today. So thank you so much, Erin, for being here with us at Empower Hour Elk Grove. Take the floor.
Well, thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here, and I've been with you guys for a couple years now, and I just love this group so much. And Carrie is the only one on this call who can actually attest to me being very shy. She knew me when I very first started this business as a coach, and so I was a very different. She's like, "Yep." Yeah, I was very, very different, very much more quiet and withdrawn then. And I guess Christina actually met me back then too, pretty close to then. So a couple of people on this call have known me for a very long time, since the beginning of this journey. So today I wanted to talk about how to stay positive and confident during times of challenge. We are definitely in a time of challenge right now. And, you know, when I want you to ask yourself, when your world gets shaken up, like it is right now, we're all kind of shaken all over the place. Do you run and hide, or you face it and rise? Okay, that is the question. Am I running and hiding? Like Stephanie was saying, like, are you hiding under the covers every day, or are you hiding from the world, or are you facing it and rising? Okay, so your success on the other side of this pandemic will depend on how you deal with the situation while we're in the middle of it. So today I'm going to talk about how to stay positive and motivated through this challenging time, how to keep your confidence up so you can keep moving forward and gaining momentum, and how to be a beacon of light during this time of uncertainty. And I'll ask you guys some questions. I'll ask you to type into the comments your answers so we can keep it interactive and things like that. But one of the things that I've done to be a beacon of light during this time is right at the beginning of the shutdown, I had this idea to have a weekly speaker hour, and I started a Facebook group called Be the Light: Inspiration and Uplifting Stories from Around the World, to uplift people and to share positive things that people are doing in the world and make people laugh and just share the light that other people are spreading in the world. And I had Stephanie come speak and different things like that. So that's one of the things that I've done. We had 1,000 people join that group in 9 days, and now we're at 1,500 members. So definitely go join the Be the Light group if you haven't joined. It's a fun space, uplifting. So for those of you who don't know my story, I'll tell you really quickly that I used to be very shy, but even as a child, I knew that I was put here for a reason. I always wanted to make a difference in some way or another. So I would always get outside my comfort zone, even past those fears, in order to do so. My vision was always bigger than my fears. So for example, I remember being in elementary school and being in some sort of club. It was like conflict resolution or something. And we would walk around at recess with our little, what are they called? Clipboards, and see if anyone was having trouble on the playground and help them work through the problem and different things. And then in college, I was right during 9/11 is when I started college. I started college, and 2 weeks later, 9/11 happened. And my friend and I were so distraught with the pain and the fear and the anger and the hatred that was going on that we joined a group on campus called DREAM, Daring to Reach Equality Among Many. And we canvassed the campus and shared about equality and love and peace and light and things like that. But I even remember being in college, sitting in my psychology classes, having a question run through my mind and absolutely panicking at the thought of raising my hand and asking that question, of being seen and being heard, of asking a stupid question. And so I would actually not ever raise my hand. I would panic and just let the question go. that's how scared I was of being seen and asking questions and just being heard, speaking up. But then after college, I graduated, I went and worked in a group home with foster kids. I wasn't really feeling that fulfillment that I really wanted to feel from that. As you can imagine, and as you all know, teenagers and especially at-risk youth don't typically come to you and say, gee, you're making such a difference in my life. Thank you for being here every day, you know, making peanuts to come and work here. So I wasn't feeling that real fulfillment that I was looking for. And I had been to a few network marketing parties at the time, same woman, same type of party. And she always asked me, do you want to join my team? And I would always say, absolutely not. You know, I'm not a speaker. I don't sell things. I don't get in front of groups. No way. I'm too shy. And one day something shifted inside of me. And I thought, you know, I think I'm going to try this. And I was totally terrified, but I called her up and I said, Rose, I do want to join your team. And that was the beginning of my confidence building journey in 2008. So 12 years now. And I was not going to be selling makeup or jewelry or something like that. I actually joined passion parties. So I went from like, don't see me, no, don't hear me, you know, stay as quiet and as in the corner as I can, to, hello, let me sell you some things that go buzz in the night. And I did that for 5 years, and I grew a team. I became executive director, which is the highest paid level, and I fell in love with empowering women. So that was really how I started my confidence building journey. And now I'm a confidence coach, as I mentioned before, and I absolutely love watching women transform, recognize where they're holding themselves back, their limiting beliefs, where they're in fear, where they don't feel good enough or worthy, and help them transform on a deep level and really help them to be more successful, to love themselves more, and to really feel their own fulfillment. So that's me. That's my short little story of how I got to where I am now. And as Laura said, I did my first retreat last year in Tahoe. It was absolutely amazing and transformational for the women. And I'm really looking forward to being able to do that again, hopefully this year. And I do my own events and speak and all sorts of stuff. So anywho, let's get on to the content. So how to stay positive and motivated through this challenging time. It is very difficult right now to stay positive and motivated when there's so much negativity and fear right now and pain. You know, I'm an empath. I'm a highly sensitive person. So I am taking all this energy around me and it's just like soaking into me like a sponge. So I have to have extra care and time for self-care in order to continue to be able to do my thing and help my people and not completely burn out with all of this extra energy coming in. So the first thing you want to do is to focus on your vision. Know what is your vision. You have to know what your vision is if you want to keep moving forward during any time of challenge, whether that's now, whether that's if you have, you know, relationship issues or financial issues, or there's some sort of struggle or setback or failure in your life. You've got to know what your vision is. Otherwise, you're not going to keep moving forward. So you have to have a real crystal clear vision of what you want, who you want to impact, your why. You know, I see myself speaking on big stages. I see myself running multiple super transformational retreats every year, really making an impact for women, really changing lives. And I can see that in a very clear way. I see the moments of, you know, opening the doors to my retreat house that I will own on the beach and welcoming the women in and hugging them. I see that moment in time. Do you see? It's like a movie in my mind where I can feel it, I can taste it, I can touch it, I can smell it, I can hear it. So you want to get really, really clear on your vision. I also want to say that you have to be really clear about who you are. I've seen a lot of people right now abandoning their dreams and their visions to go for the quickest buck. And that's going to burn you out. Okay, so that's one thing to realize, you know, I'm not really passionate about what I'm doing in my business. I think I'm really more passionate over here, and to do that. But when I say, when people are talking about pivoting right now, we're not talking about completely abandoning your dreams and your vision. We're talking about making a slight change. I've changed a little bit of messaging because of this pandemic. I've changed, obviously I'm not in person doing things. There's things that you can shift, but it's still your business. It's still the same message at the core. Do you see? Yeah. So don't go chasing after something that's not who you are at your essence and at your core. It doesn't make sense for you, for where you're going for your vision. Okay. So a couple of questions you can ask yourself if you're not sure what your vision is, if you're not sure what you want, ask yourself, just get out your journal and journal for several minutes at a time. What do I want? Why do I want it? And just keep asking yourself, what do I want? And why do I want that? What do I want? And why do I want that? Over and over again, you're going to notice you're going to kind of have some surface answers at first. And then the more you ask yourself, the deeper you're going to get into the real meat of what it is that you truly want and why you want it. And then get into the feeling of that. Once you know what you want, you can start going, oh, I want that because I'm going to feel so fulfilled and I'm going to help these women and it's going to feel so amazing. And then you really get into that feeling, and that's going to help you to keep moving forward through all these struggles. So I'd love to know, what is your vision? What do you want and why do you want it? Tell me in the comments. The next thing is to let your passions inspire you. What lights you up? Who inspires you in your life? Maybe your kids inspire you. Maybe you have a passion for art. Maybe you have a passion for supporting women like I do. I am super passionate about supporting women to let go of that mind trash that holds them back, playing small, those fears, those I'm not worthy or I can't have that because I'm not enough, to really believe in themselves and stand in their power and reach for more than they ever have thought they could be possible, right? So what are you passionate about? What do you dream of? What lights you up? I'd love to know that too. And then how can you turn those passions and dreams into something that helps others right now? Right? So that's one of the questions that I asked the universe that gave me my idea for the Be the Light group, right? So let's see what everyone's saying. I see some comments over here. Christina says to help inspire women, to help them be healthy and fit, build them up, lift them up. Awesome. Carrie, comedy routine for my book. Yes. Stephanie, love helping people, lights me up. Thank you. Laura, to help people uncover their own extraordinary potential. Yes, absolutely. So your passions are really going to help you to be that beacon of light, and it's automatically going to help light you up and keep you moving forward and get you excited. Even on those days where you don't feel good or you want to hide under the covers, it's going to help you to get up and get going. Something super important right now is to build on your self-compassion. Okay. Many times, I've seen a lot of people say, I want to use this time that we're stuck at home to get super productive and do all the things. And it's like 5 years worth of work they want to get done in like a month, right? And then we beat ourselves up because we're not getting it done because there's all this sadness. And so it's a very interesting time to be in. And there's this even if we're not watching the news, like I definitely don't watch the news. I barely look at any articles to see what's going on. Like I barely know what's going on right now, but I know what's going on right now. Like there's this underlying current of sadness and fear and grief about what's going on in the world. Like we all know we're stuck at home because there's this virus, right? So when there's that underlying current, I know that personally as an empath, I've had a lot of days where I'm just like, I'm exhausted. I have no energy. It's hard to focus whatsoever. It feels like I have cotton balls in my brain sometimes. And I have had to learn to be compassionate with myself and say, I don't feel well today because clearly there's some sort of weird energy going on that's bringing me down, and to take care of myself during that time and be compassionate and allow myself to not work if I can't get to it, right? Like if my brain is not functional, then I am giving myself that self-compassion and that allowance to just rest or to take care of myself. Okay. I've been watching you, Laura. Yeah, I've been spying on you, Laura. So I want you to be compassionate with yourself, be gentle with yourself, and take that time for that self-care. And the next point is self-care. So oftentimes our levels of self-care and self-worth go together. We give ourselves the self-care that we feel that we are worthy of, based on how hard we've worked or our deep level of self-worth, things like that. So I want you to remember that it's not selfish to do self-care, to take care of yourself first. It's selfish not to. If you want to be there for others, we have to take care of ourselves first. One of my mentors said once, and I loved this, she said, don't give from your cup. Fill your cup up so it overflows and give from the saucer, right? You don't want to give from your own cup. Let it overflow and then give. I think that's a really important point, because we are givers. We are people that want to give and help others, but we can't do that unless we help ourselves first. That's why they tell you to put the oxygen mask on the plane first, right? Because on yourself first on the plane, because you can't take care of anyone else if you're dead, right? Or if you can't breathe. So make sure you're getting lots of extra rest, take naps if you need to, pamper yourself, take a walk. I took a walk yesterday. It felt so nice to get outside in the fresh air and the sunshine. I have a beautiful garden. I love being out there and just looking at the flowers and the bees and the ladybugs. I have tons of ladybugs out there right now. Take salt baths, be in nature. What kind of self-care do you guys like? I'd love to hear what kind of things you do. EFT tapping's really good, meditating, singing, dancing, do some art, whatever it is that you love to do that relaxes you. What kinds of things do you like to do? Bathing, coloring, reading, meditation, dance, workouts, walking the dog. Awesome. Breathing. Great. So working out. Yeah. So before the pandemic, I was doing like beach body workouts with weights and all that stuff. And I haven't really felt like doing that. So I've just been doing Zumba, and I just love it because it's just, I love to dance. And that's something that really, like, it's not super hard work, but I'm still getting the movement in and I'm having a great time and moving the body. And so that's been really fun for me. So how do you keep your confidence up right now? The world needs leaders, confident leaders right now, to step up and support people, okay? And your success and your confidence is created from the inside out. I know some people think that confidence, you can see confidence on the outside for sure, but that's not where it stems from. It stems from your deep inner core. It's that deep self-love, that deep self-worth, that deep belief in yourself that I am enough. Okay. So, yes, you can put on a cute outfit or get a haircut or, whatever, and you're going to feel more confident. But that's a surface confidence. That's not a deep confidence. And that's the confidence that I'm talking about in my work. And so if you want to build your confidence, you have to dig deep. You've got to really look at what are my deep beliefs that are holding me back, and to break through those, to work on those, and to dissipate them so that you can create new beliefs. We can't just cover those up. I've done a ton of work in the last year or so with a coach that I have where we dig deep and we really bring those to the surface, face them, and then dissipate them. We often tend to resist the things that we don't want to look at, which brings them even, more to the surface, and they keep coming up until we get rid of them. And I'm actually doing a certification right now to be able to do that and learn those techniques as well, which is really awesome. So it really doesn't matter how much strategy you learn or how much you know about sales or how much you know about, Carrie says, trust me, don't wait. I love you, lady. It doesn't matter how much you know about business. If you don't have the confidence to implement it, you're never going to do that, right? It's that confidence that is really important to keep moving forward, to put yourself out there, to get out there and speak or do those things that you need to do. If you're not confident in yourself, it doesn't matter how much you know, you're not going to put yourself out there in the ways that you need to be successful. Success is really 80% psychology and mindset and 20% hard work and strategy. Okay. So right now, you really need to be focusing on that mental discipline, that staying positive, that staying the course, that really looking at what's in my way right now. Why can't I move forward? Or why am I not reaching that goal? Do I have a lack mentality? Do I have some fear or beliefs around money that I need to deal with? Do I feel like I'm not worthy of that thing? Have I created like a self-imposed glass ceiling on myself? Right? We'll do that a lot is, we'll get to a certain level of income and we go, oh, this is so awesome. And then all of a sudden it falls apart because we have a belief around how much we're worth or how much we can have. So some of the things that I've found get in the way with my clients is I can't have that because I haven't worked hard enough. Carrie's nodding. Yes, I've got that one too. No one wants what I have to sell or offer. No one's paying attention right now because there's a pandemic. Nobody's spending money right now because of the pandemic. It's hard to survive. I don't know enough or have enough value. What will they think of me? I hear that one a lot. What are my friends and family going to think of me if I start this business and start promoting myself? What will they think? We have this big fear of judgment and criticism. Fear of speaking up or being seen, not feeling worthy or deserving of financial freedom, receiving money, receiving gifts, receiving or getting paid for your services, not feeling worthy of self-care or deep, fulfilling love, investing time and money in yourself or your business. I hear that a lot. About I don't have the money or I can't do that. I don't have, it comes from that feeling of self-worth. Not feeling worthy enough is not feeling like you can invest in yourself oftentimes. Not speaking up or standing up for yourself. A lot of women will find themselves shrinking their dreams to fit what they think they're worthy of or that they can create right now. They might have a big dream and then think, but that's not for me. I can't have that. That's not for me. Might have a hard time reaching their goals because they might not be able to get past that self-imposed glass ceiling that I was just talking about. They might keep sabotaging themselves or not following up with clients or not making those phone calls, whatever it is, they might be sabotaging themselves. Might be stuck in perfectionism. Anybody a recovering perfectionist? No? Carrie, no? Stephanie, yes. Laura, yes. Me too. So that perfectionism is actually a shield to keep you safe. So we think that if we're perfect, that nobody will judge us or criticize us and all will be well. But really, if someone's going to judge you and criticize you, they're going to judge you and criticize you no matter what you do. So you might as well just get it done and worry about that later. There's always going to be haters. There's always going to be someone who judges you and criticizes you. It doesn't matter if you're perfect or not. There is no perfect. So I always say done is better than perfect. Get it done, get it out there. And the 1 or 2 people out of 500 are not going to like you, and that's cool. But you're going to impact a lot of people if you just put your stuff out there instead of worrying about being perfect. Go ugly early and get feedback and adjust. I love that, Carrie. Ugly early. I love that. Endless comparison. You might find yourself comparing yourself to others, feeling like you never measure up. You're never quite good enough. It's that feeling of like, I'm not good enough yet, still not good enough yet. So there's a lot of different things that can stop you from moving forward. Fears can look like procrastination or uncertainty or being unclear about what next steps to take, not, wanting to do it the right way so you never move forward or take action. You might be afraid of taking off your mask, not the N95 mask, but the authenticity mask, and really truly being authentic and being yourself because you fear that judgment and the criticism. But really what's going to attract people to you is that authenticity. You're only going to attract the wrong people if you're putting on that mask all the time. and you're showing up as someone who you aren't truly, who isn't, is not you. So take off the mask, be your authentic self, and you're going to start attracting more amazing people who want to support you and be there with you and help you with what you're up to. Yeah. So, these limiting beliefs and fears can steal your confidence and dim your light. Okay. So you might need to do some digging deep and look at, where am I holding myself back? What are some of these limiting beliefs? Where am I in fear? And where am I holding myself back, so that you can start working on those things? And we're like an onion. I know you hear this all the time, but we truly are. It's like we bust through this one block and we're like, yeah, I feel great. And then pretty soon there's another one. And then there's another layer, and then damn, I thought I got rid of that one already. And then you got to go through that one again, So it's an ever evolving process. Like I said, I've been on this journey for 12 years so far, and it's just ever evolving all the time. And then when you get to a certain level, then you have to do it to the next level. You're going to have more blocks because you haven't been there before. So you have to start kind of almost fresh. Like, okay, now I have to create new beliefs so I can get to this other level here. So I want to ask you too, have you ever seen someone who's like busting through and getting to all their goals and making good money and making a huge impact and really, really thriving in their life and their business, who doesn't have confidence? Probably not, right? So it's really a critical piece of your success and of creating your vision and creating the things that you truly want in your life and your relationships. So taking action, that's one step. Is sometimes we think that we can visualize ourselves into confidence. Visualization is important, but it's going to help you to take the step or take the action, but it's not going to help you build that confidence. It's the taking action that's going to build the confidence. You got to do something, right? So you can think about, how do I want to shift and change? How do I want to show up at this meeting or this event or in this new arena? And then you got to take the action. That's going to build the confidence and create those new beliefs for you. The next thing is believe in yourself and your worth. You have to be able to dig deep and build that self-worth and recognize when you are hustling for worthiness or not going after something because you don't feel worthy of attaining it. Okay. When we don't feel worthy, we put ourselves on the back burner. We do everything else and for everything else, or for everyone else. And our self-love and our self-care starts to suffer. And then our energy suffers. And we don't take care of ourselves and our businesses like we should be doing. And everything starts to suffer and burn out. So when we start to dig deep and feel more worthy of our own self-care, of our own self-love, of the goals and the vision that we want to create, that's when we're really going to start creating that and creating that momentum. Okay. So I had a client, Michelle, came to my retreat. She wasn't a client yet, but she came to my retreat in October, and I met her in passion parties 12 years ago. And she's been in business for 20 years, and she was really at a plateau. She was really struggling. She was, having a hard time making decisions in her business and just even moving forward at all and growing. And when she came to the retreat, she was super stagnant. Things at home and her relationship were rocky. And she was able to make some decisions at the retreat and really become empowered and change a lot of limiting beliefs that she was having. She went home and she worked on her relationship a little bit, but then they ended up deciding to part ways. And that was just a few months ago. She joined my year-long program, and she actually celebrated 20 years in business in January. And in February, she had her best month ever in business. Out of 20 years of business, she sold personally $10,000 worth of products. Yeah. And she also wasn't building her team. And after the retreat, she's signed on quite a few members to her team since then as well. And now she can't do in-home parties. So she's moved everything onto Zoom. And even last month, she sold over $6,000 personally doing parties on Zoom. So that's just one example of how a shift, either, she had mental shifts, like with her limiting beliefs and fears and things, but she also shifted in her relationship. She realized this relationship isn't working. It's dragging me down. It's costing me a ton of energy, and it's keeping me stagnant. And ever since, she's just been like on a roll. It's been really amazing to watch her thrive. And sometimes you need to lean on somebody else's belief in you before you believe in yourself. I've had so many people believe in me when I didn't believe in myself over the years. Like you, Carrie, you knew me at the beginning, and you've always believed in me and seen something in me that when I didn't always see it in myself. So thank you for that. But there's been a lot of people over the years that I've had to lean on and call and say, oh my God, I'm struggling. What do I do? I don't think I could do this. And you go, yes, you can. And that helps you build your own belief in yourself. As well. So it's important to have those people that you can call and be vulnerable with. How much time do I have, Laura or Stephanie? You're muted.
I would say probably like you could go for another 10. That way we have 10 to wrap up.
Okay. I think that's plenty of time. Perfect. Okay. So self-talk. When times start to get tough, when we forget our tools, and self-talk might not be as nice as normal. So I want you to start thinking or paying attention to your self-talk. A lot of us aren't as nearly as nice to ourselves as we should be during regular times. And when times get tough, it gets worse. So I want you to really get tough on yourself about how careful you're being with your own words towards yourself and your self-talk, okay? So when you hear yourself talking to yourself, are you being positive? Are you uplifting yourself? Are you being kind and loving and compassionate? Or are you beating yourself up? It can be really hard, especially during times of challenge, to be kind and compassionate with yourself when you don't feel like working because you're completely energy exhausted, or you're struggling with something. Then we start to beat ourselves up, and it becomes this vicious cycle. So I want you to start recognizing when you have these thoughts and beliefs come up, and these words of negativity towards yourself come up, and recognize them, and then go, oh, that wasn't very nice. And then change the thought. Start creating I am statements with as many of these as you can, and write them down. I mean, that's a really good way to do that, is to write them down so that you can look and say, oh gosh, I've not been very nice to myself. I gotta be nicer to me. So start with things like, I am kind, I am loving, I'm amazing, I'm smart, I'm a great mom. Right now, some of you are stuck at home with your little ones, and it's very challenging because you're homeschooling them and you're with them 24/7. And it can be so much, so there's been so much stress happening. So you might not think like, I'm not a very good mom right now. You might be thinking that. Tell yourself, I'm a good mom because of these reasons, and list out the reasons if you need to. List out all the ways that you are amazing or kind, loving, whatever it is that you are fighting with yourself on. Write out those I am statements, and then tell yourself, why are you all of these things? Why are you amazing? Why are you kind? Why are you giving? Okay. And then no comparisons. This is a huge one. We tend to, I see the eye rolls, yes. Big one. We tend to compare ourselves, especially in these days of fake book, right? Oh my gosh, look at all these amazing people out there doing all these great things. And how come that person can do that and I can't do it, right? All these comparisons, we go down this rabbit hole, and we don't know what's going on with them. We don't know what's really true. So on fake book, right? Just remember that not all that meets the eye, or there's whatever the phrase is, right? Not everything is how it meets the eye. So that really trips people up, is comparing themselves to other people. And I want you to stop that right now if that is you. So ask yourself, am I comparing myself to that person? Oh my gosh, I'm totally comparing myself. Catch yourself when you're doing that and remind yourself how amazing you are and how great you're doing. It steals our confidence. So we are all on our own path. Okay. Every single one of us has our own path, and you should only be comparing yourself with yourself. Okay. Are you growing? Are you changing? That's all that matters. How you are doing compared to yourself. So the comparison is going to steal your confidence, and it's going to slow you down and make you feel bad and not get you anywhere. So it's time to really look at, where am I comparing myself to others? And remind yourself how awesome you are, and give yourself that compassion like I've been talking about, and that self-care and love when you have these struggles, when you're beating yourself up, when you're comparing yourself, and remind yourself, you know what, this is a really hard time. Like almost no one alive has ever been through something like this pandemic that we're going through. This is a time in history that's very challenging and different for all of us, and we're all going through our own struggles, and not beat yourself up. Okay. So I want to encourage you to use this time to build your confidence. Look at whatever limiting beliefs and challenges, fears are coming up for you, and help you to dig deep to get past those, to create new empowering beliefs, and to be the light. Because when people are afraid, which many people are afraid right now, they're seeking confidence and clarity from the leaders, from their leaders. They want hope and light through this darkness. So how can you be their hope and their light? Light and confidence go hand in hand. The more confident you are, the more light you share. So I want to encourage everyone to be the light that people are seeking. Okay. So I have a free video series for you all if you want to grab that. It's called How to Stay Confident During Any Challenge. I'll post the link in the chat. But it's going to go deeper into some of the stuff we talked about today. What is true confidence? What steals your confidence? Tips and tools to build your confidence and self-worth. How to be a leader and impact others at any time, no matter what is happening in the world. So I'll put that in the chat for you. And I want to remind you, before I take any questions, I want to just read this quote to you. It's my very favorite quote in the world. And I think it really touches on what we're talking about today. It's by Marianne Williamson. You all probably know it. Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, and fabulous? Actually, who are you not to be? You're a child of God, and your playing small does not serve the world. There is nothing enlightened about shrinking so that other people won't feel insecure around you. We are all meant to shine as children do. It's not just in some of us, it's in everyone. And as we let our own light shine, we unconsciously give other people permission to do the same. As we are liberated from our own fear, our presence automatically liberates others. Okay, thank you for having me today, everyone. If there's any questions, you can unmute yourselves and ask.
Any final? Thank you so much, Erin. That was awesome.
Thank you.
Hi, Jennifer. Welcome.
Hi, Jen.
Hello. If anybody has any comments, questions, anything that they want to bounce to Erin?
Sorry, I missed it. I'm working.
That's okay.
Thanks for the reminder. I mean, I've taught this, done a lot of this, as so many on the call have, but, we all forget to go back to basics, and we have to take away everything we've done before and just go back to what and why. And I really liked that, because what and why changes.
Right.
And so maybe what and why isn't the same as it was yesterday. So I really liked the reminder.
Yeah, good. Thanks, Carrie. I'm glad you were here.
I just wanted to say all of it was great. I have 2 pages of notes. So I'm just saying. That's how I'm looking down the whole time. 2 pages of full notes. Thank you, Erin. I'm just totally full and blessed, and the whole thing spoke to me.
You're welcome. Good. Thanks for being here, Christina.
I love that. I have so many takeaways. I agree with Carrie, though, those reminders, you know, it is something I teach as well, and many of us do, but those reminders, being a listener and taking that in and being in this, it's just really powerful to do that again. And, you know, you forgot to include passion parties on your bio.
I like it to be a surprise.
Expecting that for the next time I introduce you. So,
I like that.
make sure to check out any future events on the Facebook page, on our web page, etc. I will go ahead. I had mentioned before that I'll put the ways to connect with us in the chat box. And then Stephanie, anything else before we close out?
Yeah, so the other thing that I would mention is tomorrow night at 6 p.m. we have an Empower Hour with the Roseville branch, and Danae Starks will be a speaker tomorrow night. And then next month, it's highly likely that we're going to be doing all of our Empower Hours virtually, because we just haven't heard anything other than the fact that that's probably going to be the case. So just a heads up to everybody, if you have any questions or if you're in need of anything, please let us know. And Miss Laura is amazing. So if you need anything from Elk Grove specific, please let us know. And then thank you, Erin, for speaking today. I took a ton of notes too, so that's why I was on my camera almost the entire, or off camera, because my roots are pretty bad. Yeah. That's what was going on.
So than everyone else, girl.
What?
Please. Than everyone else, girl.
Right? Oh my God, my nails are so bad right now. It's ridiculous. So, all right. Thank you, ladies. And thanks for letting me chat for a moment there, Miss Laura.
Wonderful. We will be meeting again third Wednesday of the month virtually via Zoom for Empower Hour Elk Grove. So that will be, I don't have my calendar in front of me. I can look at the speaker list. June 17th. Perfect. I will hope to see you guys then. And thank you again for making time out of your day to join us here at Empower Hour Elk Grove.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you, everyone. Have a great day.
Oh.